number 16, Trey Mancini.
I kind of got thrown in the fire a little bit this year as far as my role within the clubhouse and team changing a little bit, because I was thinking about it the other day. 2 years ago, I was a rookie, and you know, I felt like I was so young and had so many veteran guys around to lean on and learn from, and within the course of 2 years, it's totally flipped, where we have a lot of guys that are getting their first taste of Major League experience, and I happen to be one of the more experienced guys here now, just 2 years later. So yeah, definitely had to grow up quick, and you know, whenever they need advice or need anything, they know they can come to me, and I can help them out.
Do you think that's helped your career a little bit? That made you focus a little more, or you think you would be where you are regardless?
I think it's helped. I really do. I've tried to make a conscious decision this year to be more of a leader, and especially lead by example. I mean, I'm not the most like vocal, rah-rah guy, but you know, I want people to respect me and respect the work I put into my job. So I think that really has helped, and I've dedicated a lot of time to you know, being more of a kind of face that guys can come to and learn from.
Okay, let's I guess just drop the guards for a second, because we had this huge campaign to get you in the All-Star game, to send you to Cleveland. You didn't make it. Tell me, when the roster was announced, your initial response.
It was tough. I was pretty angry, honestly, was my initial response. And I joked the next day to you know, I talked to all the reporters and everything, and I told them I went through the 5 stages of grief, and I honestly did. It was a crazy day, and I had envisioned telling my parents and my family and my sisters, you know, for a while that I was going to be in the All-Star game, and to, you know, call and have a different conversation was a little tough. So I think that was the toughest part, but after a couple days went by, I was okay. And there were also, you see who didn't make the game too, guys like Kepler, Rosario, Devers, some guys originally that didn't make it, Gleyber Torres and Bogarts. I mean, there are some really good players left off the list. So that's the name of the game. It happens. There's always going to be all-star snubs every year, and unfortunately, you know, in the state that we're in, being a last-place team, we're probably only get one guy in, and John completely deserved it too. So that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles and how life goes sometimes. Has
it fueled you a little bit? Because you've been on a little tear lately.
A little bit, I would say, especially at the time. I think, went out guns blazing too much, trying to, you know, prove that I should have been there. And then I took a step back and relaxed. And it's not anything I think about now. And I just kind of happened to go through a little bit of a rough patch around the same time as all that. And yeah, so that was kind of an unfortunate coincidence. But once I finally broke that 0 for 24 streak, I've been feeling good and feeling like myself.
Now, right after the All-Star break is when we hear so much about trade talks. Who's going to get traded? In fact, at the All-Star game, it happens a lot. Remember, last year was with Manny.
Absolutely.
Did Manny Machado play his final game as an Oriole? You didn't get traded, and you genuinely, I remember doing the O's Extra post-game show, and someone asked you, and it was the biggest smile I've seen on your face in quite some time.
Still happy you weren't traded?
Extremely happy. Yeah. I'm very happy I'm still here. So, yeah, I've been saying it all along, and I'm so thankful to be here in this city and play in front of these fans and be on this team.
This last place team, you're going to be in last place for the 3rd consecutive year. Why do you want to stay?
I mean, it's the organization that drafted me, and I've come to love Baltimore and love playing for this organization. And it was hard to imagine playing anywhere else, honestly. And I think, you know, ideally, I would love nothing more than to be here throughout the whole rebuild and the whole process, and to be on a playoff team again here, because I got to experience that within 2 weeks of being a Major League player. I was on a playoff roster, and I appreciated it for sure, but I don't think I realized at the time, especially after playing, this is my 3rd full season, and realizing how hard it is to get to the playoffs. You know, I wish I could go back and kind of relive it sometimes, because it was the most incredible experience of my life. So it definitely fuels you going forward, and you know, it's great to have other teams interested in you, and it's very flattering, but deep down I want to be here, and I want to, you know, be a part of this process, and hopefully come out the other side when we're you know, competitive again.
Playoffs, 3 years, not playoffs, bottom of the division. Why do you want to be here so much? What is it that you love about Baltimore so much?
I just love the city, and I love playing in front of our fans. I think, you know, if I'm in a restaurant somewhere around town, and last year we won 47 games, and the fans had every right to not be huge fans of us, and everybody couldn't have been nicer and more supportive. And I had, especially last year, had a really tough first half, and I got great support from everybody around here, and it meant a lot to me, and I've grown close to a lot of people in the city and love playing in this park. So, you know, it's tough to explain and put into words, but so much of that meant a lot to me, and you know, I want to be here for a while and give it back to the fans.
Moving forward with this organization, you've been here through 2 regimes now in a short time. What's the biggest difference now as opposed to before?
Yeah, I think now you're seeing that we're starting to be a lot more analytically driven, and we haven't totally seen that at the major league level yet. I think in Delmarva, especially in Frederick, in those levels, they're really incorporating that with the guys coming up through the system, and we'll start seeing that more. Our pitchers have probably a little more at their disposal than we do as hitters right now, but I think especially in the coming years, you're going to see that we're going to be driven by analytics a lot more and some of those advanced numbers, because you're kind of behind the 8 ball these days if you don't really buy into it, in my opinion, and it can be really useful. And it kind of helped turn my year around last year. I went to Mike Silverman, one of our head advanced scouts, and just asked him kind of for a rundown the difference between me in 2017 and 2018 up to that point. And it was a pretty simple explanation, but it was nice to have some numbers in front of me and tell me what I was doing differently this year, and I made a big adjustment after that, and it helped me the rest of the year. So you have a ton of information at your disposal, and it's up to you how much you want to use it, but it's really helped me out a lot, and I think going forward with the new regime, we're really going to be seeing a lot of that.
And he drills it. Oh, my Lord. Goodbye, home run. Trey Mancini night at the ballpark.
Coming up, you know, I used to be told, see the ball, hit the ball, don't overthink it. Mm-hmm. This is a different generation, different era, so you find that more information helps you.
It's good to a degree. So whenever you're not playing, we're at the field a lot during the day. We have a long time in the locker room, so that's kind of the time to look at some things and maybe put it in your subconscious and things like that. But once the game starts, I'm back to kind of the old school approach. You see the ball, hit the ball. You can't be up there thinking about you know, what the pitcher might throw you in this count and all these, you can't have all these numbers popping up in your head. I just go up there and try to react and use some information that was given to me before, but when 7:05 hits, you go out there and play the game, and you can't be thinking about, you know, mechanics or anything like that.
We see you seem to get along with all your teammates, but we know every locker room, every clubhouse has that one guy that I can't wait till I get here to see who's that one guy that's in the clubhouse that, you know, when you come in, everything changes in a positive way.
Stevie Wilkerson, Stevie Breeze. So yeah, he's
his
absolutely
new nickname now,
oh
Stevie
Breezy.
Breeze?
Oh yeah,
Because every time I see him, he gives me a new one.
Oh, he's got 10 different nicknames, and they're all, you know, self-provided. You know, nobody else gives it to him. So yeah, he's not shy, and yeah, Stevie loves himself some Stevie. So he's absolutely hilarious and one of my favorite guys that I've ever played with, and he's become one of my really close friends. So you know, he keeps things light and loose, and especially some of the success he's had on the mound this year has even furthered the ego a little bit.
Can you hit him?
I don't know if I can. That's under my hitting speed, man. I can see where everybody's having a tough time hitting him this year. 55 is not easy to hit. And, as
so
position,
that's 12.
We all get in our we all get in our own heads whenever we face position players, and he does a really good job, and he throws strikes, and it's not the easiest thing to do, and yeah, he's done a pretty good job with it.
This team right now in last place. Why should Oriole fans believe that light at the end of the tunnel is not a train coming on? Why should they believe that there's a bright future for this team?
I mean, I think you look at some of the talent we have in the minors, especially the lower levels. We got some really good pitching down there, so those guys can come up pretty quick, a lot quicker than people think. And I think you can see what Elias and Sig did in Houston. You know, it was a very similar situation as to what's going on here.
I read the book.
Yeah, I mean, they really know what they're doing, and you know, whether I'm here or not, whenever the team is, you know, we're towards the top of the division again, I think Orioles fans should be very happy to have them in town and running the organization, because especially after getting to know them, they're incredible, and they really know what they're doing. So I think fans should be excited about that, and I think you can see the way we've been playing in July. I mean, you saw some glimpses of our offense is really come together, and we've been having some really good, unselfish team at bats, and it's helped us win some games. So we're all really buying into that and playing better baseball than we were earlier in the year.
Every organization that wins has multiple players who are successful, but they all have a face, a leader. Why should we believe that you're that leader?
I mean, I've kind of gotten thrown into that role a little bit this year, and I've tried to take it head on, and yeah, I would love to be seen as a leader here.
You like being a
yeah,
leader?
I would love to be, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to, and
because some guys shy away from the limelight, and you don't seem to have that. You know what I mean? Run on base, 2 outs, you deliver. Early in the ball game, you deliver. So you kind of embrace that.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what I wanted to do since I was a little kid, and now that I'm here, I would never shy away from that, and I want to be, you know, a great player and a leader here in Baltimore too. So, you know, it's something I've always dreamed of. So to be experiencing that on a smaller scale now, and then hopefully in years in the future that even you know, becomes more prevalent, and I hope to be in that role for a while.
How's Brandon Hott helped that process?
Oh, he's helped so much. He's a joy to play for, and you know, I can go to him if anything's going on, and he's so approachable and easy to talk to, and he always has our back. So to have a manager like that is incredible, and he has a lot of trust in all of us, and you know, there's nothing better than that.